Hello and welcome to another episode of Christine's Coloring and Crafts. I'm Christine, and today we will be doing some coloring with pastel pencils. And I don't mean pastel colored pencils, I mean actual pastels. The pencils are like pastel sticks, only in pencil form. And we'll be using the Derwent pastels. We're going to do forest green and graphite gray and Naples yellow. And then we're going to use one Caran d'Ache pastel pencil. Now this one I just put a little notch on because it's pale yellow. But it's really hard for me to see, and I can't even see it now. There's numbers on this, and you can see that there's something there. I don't know if you can even see it on video, but in real life, I can see that there's numbers there, but I can't see what they are because the pencil is so light colored. Anyway, I have been doing some experimenting, mostly because I had watched a video over at Linda Learns to Color, and we decided to do a page because on her video she was introducing her Derwent pastel pencils. And something I've learned, as you can see in this picture, how grainy it is. I mean, it's still beautiful. I still love the picture. I'm not done with it yet. But it's very grainy. And the very first picture I did, and this one's on my Spring Hill 80-pound paper. And this one will be on my Nina 60-pound paper. And it's just as grainy, if not more grainy. If you can see that. And don't get me wrong. Again, I love the picture. I love that I made the girls nearly identical. I did not do that on purpose. The witches are nearly identical. So I decided to go ahead and get in my sketchbook. It is a Master's Touch sketchbook. I'm pretty sure this is from Hobby Lobby. Yeah, it's Hobby Lobby. And I decided it's 110-pound paper. I decided to draw the ugliest cat face you ever saw and a heart. Now, in the cat face, you could see a lot of graininess because I only put like a couple of layers down and then blended it out with the blender tool. But look at that heart. So what that's kind of telling me is maybe these pastel pencils aren't made for a lot of the lighter weight papers that we have in our coloring books, and also, in our PDF printouts. Now this is from, let me get the book here. I was looking for it. Oh, no, that's not the right one. It's called Whimsical Halloween Grayscale Coloring Book by Molly Harrison. And it's actually my first Molly Harrison book. And I'll get it out here for you. And it's really adorable. But I wanted to experiment since I did get this from Amazon. Well, it came in an Amazon package. I have no idea who sent it to me, but somebody sent it to me as some Happy Mail recently. And I'm going to find that little witch here sooner or later. Oh, I want to do that one. That one's so cute. It's a cat bat. There she is. And as you can see, the printout wasn't exactly the best either, but that's okay because Spring Hill paper is a little bit heavier weight, and I kind of wanted to make different colors for the sky background, and I knew it was going to be nighttime, but I still wanted to put some color into the flowers and stuff instead of making everything, black and dull. It's whimsical Halloween, for crying out loud, not scary, spooky. Oh shoot, let me get a seat here. I'm still going to finish this page and then, of course, spray it. Excuse me. But I just wanted to kind of go over some of the things that I've learned so far with coloring with pastel pencils. And this is what I've learned so far, is that the lighter weight papers don't necessarily work well with pastel pencils. And pastels are very dusty, very messy. Look at that. I don't know if you guys can see that coming up. That is just dust coming up off the page with the eraser. Whoop. And then I'm going to pull the page out, of course. Another thing I'm theorizing is that maybe I haven't put down enough layers either to make it fit the page. And I'm not quite sure how to go about that. Another thing I learned is I know when I got the pencils, I got this too, and it says Derwent Pastel on it. Like it's made specifically for the pastel pencils, but they break a lot. And don't get me wrong, they still break a little bit in my Doll 133, but not as much as they do in this little thing. And I don't try to sharpen them up to too much of a point. For some of the finer details I did, you know, I lost a great deal of one of my blues. I think it was my Prussian blue for that. But let's go ahead. And I try not to drag myself through the pastel colors. But you can see, I don't know if you can see on video actually. I gotta quit saying you can see. Maybe you can, maybe you can't see in the video all the dust that's on the moon here. So we're gonna clean up the moon a little bit. Not a lot, because I don't want to get rid of color by accident. And I don't use this brush on the pastel itself because it just smears around all the dust. I normally just blow it off, and I'll show you what I mean after we get some color put in here. There's still quite a bit of dust on the moon. That's okay, because we're going to add some color into it other than the pale yellow. We're going to use the Naples yellow too. And hopefully I don't have to scratch off any of my, or sand I should say, any of my soft tools. I've tried different things. I use primarily these blending stumps, and it does look like I'm gonna have to get the color off of one. And this is what I use to remove the last color and also make sure it gets a nice point on it again. Although this really has a nice point on it, but I don't think it's gonna get all the color off because it's got so much color down there. And that's the last sheet. And it would take me a few minutes to get another one, a new sander out. And you could get these at Hobby Lobby. You could get them at Michael's. You can get them on Amazon, all kinds of places. And so after I did my first layer here, and I know there's a lot of, let's see if I can wipe any color off here. At least wipe off the dust, because I don't want a black moon or a blue moon, although blue moon would be kind of appropriate. And I just go softly over the pencil coloring, and I do a few layers. Now I was doing 3 to 4 layers, and that seems to be all it will take of each color. And of both brands of pencils too. And this one should be pretty good and smooth, just because it looks smooth because it's so light. So I think only about 2 layers will be necessary, and then we'll come in with the Naples yellow from the Derwent. I've noticed that, I might have already said this, but the Caran d'Ache pastels are a lot softer on the paper than the Derwent ones. And see, I just blow the dust off. Here we go. And let's get the Naples yellow out and see what we can do here. Ooh, that's a very strong color. That's a lot stronger than I thought it would be. And I'm just going to put some little markings in here. Kind of give it a real moon effect. And then I'll use the other side of the blending stump. And look, that just goes right in there. It goes away. That's okay. We could do it again. I do like the lighter effect of it a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and put in another layer. And it may not look exactly like the last layer I put on, but that's okay. Because like I said, when you go back over it, it just goes right back out. Just leaving like a shadow of itself, I should say. But thanks to Linda, I am finally getting these sets out and doing something with them versus just backgrounds like I had been doing. There we go. And I still, like I said, I still like the pictures. The only thing that just bothers me is how grainy they look. All right, where's my eraser? Go over this. And I don't know if you guys, again, I don't know if you guys can see all of this stuff coming up with the eraser is just dust from the pastels. So they're from the pastel pencils. So they're very, very messy. I think I'll go ahead and do this down here since I don't have too much dust down here. And here we're going to take the graphite gray and do her little shadow. And one thing I do love is that they do come in strong, but once you blend them down, they kind of fade away, like I said, leaving a shadow of themselves. And I did the kitty. I wanted him to remain white, so I just did some gray shadowing on him. Oh, and I wish you guys could hear this. Tenchi is just a singing down there. He is such a good little canary. And then since there's still an end on this, it hasn't gotten any color on it yet. We'll just go ahead. Now this won't fade out like the Naples yellow did, but it will fade out as you blend it into the paper. And that may be another thing I'm doing. Even though I think I'm going pretty soft, I might be going too hard on it, and that's why it might not, or it might be looking so grainy at the same time. Now this, I don't want it to go too dark, so I am just going to do a second layer and be done with that. And even then, I'm just barely touching the paper with it because I don't want a full second layer. There we go. And I try to keep my fingers off of it because your fingers will leave oils that will stick into the pastel pencil dust and leave prints and whatnot. It won't look that pretty, in other words. And if you choose the blowing it off method, please make sure you don't have any water or saliva or anything in your mouth, because if you spit all over your paper, I don't think it's going to look good. Okay. Now let's go ahead and get the forest green out. And I'm not going to get real fancy with it. I just want little tufts of grass here and there, rather than coloring in the whole thing, because that sky is enough color in for everything. And I'm not even going to really, blend them out either. There we go. Just little tufts of grass here and there. They might all look similar. I tried doing it up in here, but I don't think you could see it that well. I mean, I could see it, but I doubt you can see it in video very well. Now, here's probably where you'll see it. And you hear that scratching? The Derwents are a little bit more scratchier than the Caran d'Ache. Put some more little tufts over here. And hopefully everybody's been having a good day and a good week so far. So far, it's not been too bad. I think I overdid it in PT yesterday because I have been in pain for 2 days straight now. Been having to take a little extra ibuprofen. I thought I stuck my finger right in, or the edge of my finger right into her dress. No blue. And in case you're wondering, yes, this is the lazy person's way of doing glass. Grass. I'm gonna do some glass. And yes, I've been watching Breaking Bad. Okay, looks like it's getting a little thick here. So we're just gonna take the pencil, and the doll's attached to the desk. And I'm not gonna take it off for this. But what I do is I go real slow while I'm turning the lever, because pastel pencils are still soft pastels. You can see it leaves quite a bit, and I didn't sharpen it a lot, just enough to kind of give it a little bit of a point again, so I can make the little blades of grass. Let's make some different blades here. Let's really go wild. And I turn the pencil while I'm doing this to try to keep the point as long as possible. But I will tell you that points do not stay long on pastel pencils. Not long at all. In fact, look, it's starting to get white again. Let's give it another little turn. And don't get discouraged using these, because sometimes you will still end up breaking your pencils. I think I just broke it. Oh, I didn't. Good. It just felt like it gave away. There we go. Give it a little bit more of a point this time. Maybe it'll last a little bit. And then I'll show you what I use to set these pictures. I hate going over their signatures. We'll try to go in between here. And this actually looks really good because it's not got that faded out look. I think it looks good anyway. But you want at this stage to be very careful, because even with a piece of paper over it, you can smush it by accident, and then, you know, it'll be everywhere. It'll look weird. But there we have it. And I'm going to call that one done. Let me go get my spray here to go ahead and set the color. And I put it on the back here so I can make sure that I get the whole picture in the spray. But before I spray it, where's my little eraser? Here we go. And I don't see a point in doing the border since we already have so much busy work inside. But I do kind of want to get rid of the dust on the sides here. You can even see where here I touched it with my fingertip and it left a little fingerprint. There we go. Give it a little shake. And the Spring Hill paper, I think, is actually had it turn out better than the Nina paper did, because I think it just has a little bit more tooth. But I think you would need either it's going to need to take more layers or just a more toothier paper overall. I think a more toothier paper would be easier, but I think it's not going to go through too many printers. So we would just have to stick with using it in drawings, or if you have a printer that's strong, then you can go ahead and copy it onto like that 110-pound paper. I think that would work a lot better. All right, let me get these guys out of the way because I don't want them sprayed. And most people will want to do stuff like this in a well-ventilated area. Normally I have my fan running. I don't today, just because it started making noise and I didn't want it interfering with my video. We're going to give this a little shake. And what I use is the Krylon Workable Fixative. I've had this thing for like 6 months. And I just now seen this as Fixative. And then we're just going to give it a little swipe. Let me turn it back this way here. I think that'll be safer. And that's all I do is I just give it little swipes. It does smell, so if you're sensitive to smells, you may not want to work with this. And then you just let it dry. I usually give it a couple of hours, although I'm sure it dries in minutes, but I usually give it like a couple of hours to dry. And there you have it. I will leave a link to Linda Learns to Color below. But one of the reasons I loved her channel is because it's kind of like mine, in a sense that we are both learning things, and now we can learn things together. I look forward to, excuse me, when Linda gets her picture done. I can't wait to see what she's done. I bet it's way better than mine, but I do love mine. They're okay. Anyway, thank you all so much for stopping by to watch the video today. If you have questions, please comment below your questions. If you have suggestions, also please feel free to comment below of what you want to see on my channel. And then, of course, you know, anything you want to comment below is fine by me, just not negativity. Anyway, I've not experienced any negativity. I'm sure it's bound to happen sooner or later, but y'all have been really, really super awesome. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Till then, everybody have a colorific day. Bye.